What up, what up? This is Finding Fitness and Folk, a channel where we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about the folk. So on today's episode, I'm going to discuss why fine black women are single. So admin notes, Instagram, subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing you out, give you leverage, you better yourselves. I'm going to hop in and out of this video because it is hot out here, y'all. Went to do my walk and in DC, of course, and yeah, it's just too hot, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get with the video, get with the topic, and I'm be out your hair because it's hot, yo. It's really hot. So let's get into it. So why do I say that, or why fine black women are single? So let me address how I see things right here in DC, right? So every time I do my walk, you know, I'm walking around DC. DC is a melting pot, right? So I'm seeing women of all races, women of all ages, and in particular, I see a lot of black women that are dressed fairly nice, you know, hair done, nails, and all these other things, right? In the business sector, right? Because you know, some of them have like a business dress on, or like or business pants, slacks, or what have you. And a lot of them that I see are single, right? And some of them are, you know, maybe my age, maybe some are younger. You know, it all depends, right? But one thing I would say is contributing that to, like, you know, trying to like relate it to the topic as far as like I'm seeing, you know, black women in DC walking around, you know, going to get lunch or whatever, versus them being single. For the most part, I believe that a lot of the women that I do see like that here in DC are career-minded women. And career-minded women a lot of times don't have the time to date, or they meet men that are career-minded just like they are, and their philosophies about life don't match up very well, right? I've seen a lot of older black women that you know, are dressed fairly nice and look and are attractive, but they don't have husbands. They may have a boyfriend or somebody that, you know, they date or whatever, but they don't have a husband, and that's because they put their career and their beliefs and their goals in life over a relationship, which is totally fine, right? But I think a lot of times black women get very they get, how should I say, what's the word for it, bitter, to a certain degree, bitter, discontent. You know, they just get in a space where they like, you know, like I want these things, right? But this it's one of the things, like I want to have a family, I want to be married, but everybody that I'm dating that I do see as a potential mate, they're not feeling me, right? They don't want to date me. They don't want to marry me, and I got to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like I think, in my opinion, and this is not a desirable thing, and I think a lot of black women would push back on this, but I think you have to take down. You have to be with a black man or man in general that is willing to take a back seat when it comes to the finances, right? And you're the one that's bringing a lot of money to the table, or at least you're bringing a bulk of the money to the table, or you go 50-50 on them, you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows, right? But you're not gonna be able to find a man in general, right? Anything's possible, but you're not gonna find a man in general that's gonna be above your level and have more drive than you, and it's going to accept you having this and accept you having the same footing that he does. And it's not an intimidation thing. I think a lot of women get that type of thing when it comes to relationship convoluted, when it comes to, like, you know, these men don't want me because they feel intimidated by me. No one's intimidated about you, especially a man that has more status than you do or has status. We're not intimidated. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we as far as me. I've been married for over 20 years now, so, like, you know, I'm not in that pool. But if I was single, I think I would be considered one of the men that, you know, I think women in that status would want to date, and there would be no intimidation from me whatsoever when it came to you. Only thing I would tell you is that you know, if your career conflicts with what I feel that a wife's supposed to be, as far as, like, you know, being able to take care of the family, take care of the kids, Not to say you can't have a job, but I mean, but if I'm at the house 90% of the time, taking care of the family, making a living, and you're almost at the same level, that's not a family. I see a lot of, I've seen a lot of marriages that are like that, where like the husband and the wife are always out of the house and they have nannies to take care of the kids. Kids have been sent away to boarding school because it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it works for them, it works for them. I think that the kids do suffer to a certain degree when it comes to those dynamics. Because yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the kid has nothing to worry about and don't want for anything because of how much money that both parents are making. But I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a psychiatrist, but I don't need to practice that type of medicine to know that kids need to have at the very least at least one parent that's almost always there with them. And when they don't have, if they only have either one of them, and both parents are working constantly, what is that? What kind of mindset is that putting that child in, right? But not to get off the topic, but I think that's one of the dynamics, the reason why I see a lot of single, attractive black women around here in DC that are, and what I mean by single, I mean they're not married, they don't have rings on their fingers, right? The ones that I do see that are fine, that have rings on their finger, and they, like I said, they're well kept. They have their hair done, their nails done, they dress very nicely. I can only attribute that to they having a very good husband that's taking care of them. You know what I'm saying? And kudos to them. They won. You know what I'm saying? They found someone that's able to take care of them and able to keep them looking straight all the time. You know what I'm saying? Not to say there's like a end goal for women, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell a woman that's being taken care of by their man versus the woman that's not being taken care of by their man. And that makes a big difference, guys. It really does. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to put yourself in a position to where, like, if you have a woman, you need to be able to financially take care of them. But that's the caveat to the video, right? The main purpose of the video is to give a personal opinion and ideas for us, like why, if you walk down the street and you see a fine black woman in DC or anywhere, why are they single? And it could be because of age. I'm pretty sure a lot of women in their 20s, like, they're not looking for to get married. They're looking for to at least establish something first, right? But when you see women that's like in their 40s and over, and they look stunning, but they're not married, more likely, yeah, every woman's different, you know what I'm saying? But more than likely, especially if I see them in DC here in the big city, they chose career over relationship. And that's a choice that a lot of women, when they make that choice later on in life, they regret it. Men don't have that luxury to regret a lot of decisions we make in life. You know what I'm saying? If we do something, we have to pretty much live with that decision. But I think a lot of women, they can't accept that they can't have both. They can't have a family and they can't have a career. And and hopefully, by the grace of God, you find a man that's able to know your balance and to be able to be with you and understand that, like, you know what, even though I'm a man and I have let's say I have a business that's making millions of dollars a year, but you're a woman that's a lawyer in DC that's making, $300,000-$400,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'm a man that's able to understand that, hey, you have a career just like I do, and I'm gonna work with you, right? I love you and I want to work with you. But a lot of men that are in that position do not want a woman that has all that time taken up from them. That's just the bottom line. It's not an attribute of a weak man. I think that some women get that convoluted too, like when they say, like, oh, he can't handle me, or he's just not that guy for me. Well, if that's the case, then 90% of the guys you're looking for ain't for you. That's just the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So, find black women that are single. That's one of the reasons why, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So take it with a grain of salt. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, right? But if you are a fine black woman that's watching this video right now, I'm pretty sure that you're not an idiot. You're not in a space where you don't understand a lot of things when it comes to relationships. But just understand that, like, just like men have to live with choices, you have to live with your choice too. and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, kudos to your career. I hope you have a prosperous career. But what I will say is that a lot of women in general, not just black women, but a lot of women derive happiness off of having a family other than having a career. The ones that have both, you are extremely blessed. That's just bottom line. But the ones that don't, and they just have the career and not the family, you know, it's a sad situation. And I really hate it that women in general can't have both. But that's just the way the world works, you know. And unless a dynamic changes in how gender roles are, that's just the way it's going to be, right? So I applaud you for pushing forward with a career, because I will say that we do need a lot of black women in careers that helps the black community. I totally get that. We need black female doctors. We need black female lawyers. We need black female psychiatrists and psychologists. We just need that, right? But it just comes with a risk. And one of the sorry, y'all, drop some. But it comes with a risk, and one of the risks that you run into is that you might not be able to get a husband and kids. Yeah, just if you're young watching this, if you're a young black woman watching this, really think about that. You know what I'm saying? What path you want to take, and just pray about it. You know what I'm saying? Because with prayer, anything's possible. All right. So if you want me to discuss a topic or a subject you think is beneficial to the channel, email me at findingfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address is description below. Finding Fitness and Folk, Triple F. I'm gone.